Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Backyard Buckets. Today, we're going to be talking about the Golden State Warriors. They somehow have set themselves up to be a championship contender now and a championship contender 15 years down the road. It's crazy. They've got two different cores. One's old, one's young. So we're going to be talking about all that and more today. Before we get started, make sure to the like button and subscribe button if you do enjoy. At any point, it really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. Leaving a comment also helps a lot as well. Also, make sure to be subscribed because if we hit 2,000 subscribers before Thanksgiving, we will be doing a giveaway, and you are automatically entered. All you have to do is subscribe. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to say about the Warriors, so excited to have these two back. Probably the most fun backcourt to watch of all time. Now, I'm probably biased because, I've only been watching, religiously watching basketball for about 5 years. But still, these guys, when Clay is going off, when he's getting 37 points in, 23 in a quarter, it's crazy. 60 points on, 4 dribbles, something stupid like that. It's crazy. These guys are one of the most entertaining backcourts to watch, and we finally get them back. Hopefully, unless Clay gets hurt again, that'd be awful. But talking about their win now core, obviously they still have Steph Curry, who is probably the greatest shooter of all time. Just averaged 32 points per game I think he's 32. And then they get Clay, the second best shooter of all time, probably the greatest catch and shoot shooter of all time. It's so exciting. Clay's back, baby. Basketball needs Clay. It's a fact at this point. They also get Donkey Draymond, who had a pretty cool interview the other day, not gonna lie. But yeah, getting him back, he's pretty far out of his prime, but he could still, set screens. He still reads the defense. He's still a great defender, does the dirty work, gets the boards. Yeah, he just won gold. Otto Porter Jr., this is a very underrated signing. Being able to bring him in on the minimum deal, that's big for them because in today's NBA, obviously you need as many 3-and-D wings as you can to help out your roster, be the supporting cast, and they were really strapped for cash. So they get him on the vets minimum, big dub. And then they bring back Iguodala, who kind of went on a tour of the NBA before finally coming back to Golden State, where he won all those championships, or all 3 of those championships. Yeah, 2 with KD, 1 without. Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, they get Iggy back. So that's their win now core. Here's their other core, their future core. Jonathan Kuminga, who has one of the coolest nicknames in the NBA. I'm not going to say it, but yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he was taken with the 7th overall pick. He slipped down to 7, which probably was where he should have been taken. But the Warriors get him, and he's looked phenomenal so far in the Summer League. I think he's going to be a really, really good NBA player for a pretty long time. Now Moses Moody, he slipped very far, all the way down to 14. The Warriors were able to grab him at the back of the lottery, and I think they're very, very happy with being able to get him. He's a bucket, but he also can shoot the 3-ball very well and defend very well. He won't really need to create for himself early on, which was one of his bigger weaknesses coming in. So I think he fits in very, very well with this Warriors team. And then don't forget, they also had the number 2 overall pick last year in James Wiseman, who everybody thought, they're going to trade 7, 14, and Wiseman for a superstar. Well, now they have a big 3 that's going to be good in a few years. That's going to be good in 10 years. This could be, if they stick together, which probably they won't be able to, just because of salary cap issues. But if they can stick together, this could be one of the best big 3s in the next 10 years. I know it's impossible to predict what the next 10 years is going to look like, but still, they've got the foundation there. They've also got Jordan Poole, a guy who is kind of underrated. I thought he very, very good. Very, very good last year. Microwave guy off the bench that can, come in and give you buckets. He almost dunked, I think it was LeBron, he almost forced him into retirement right there. And then this guy, he's a bit controversial. He can go in either core. But Wiggins, I feel like, we'll put him in the win later core. He can be in the win now core too. He's both. All right, we'll just go with that. He's both. But Wiggins is a very, very big piece of this team. Arguably the 3rd option now after Clay. He wasn't really that great as the 2nd option last year, but I think this year, being the 3rd option, that's going to be pretty lethal there. Now, looking at the losses, they did trade Eric Pascal away for a 2nd-round pick and I think cash. I mean, that's a huge dub for the Jazz. Not necessarily for the Warriors. I don't know why they did that. He was a really, really good piece of their bench last year. If you're a Warriors fan, let me know down in the comments below. Initially, I thought they were going to add somebody else, but then that never really happened. They also lost Nico Mannion. I didn't actually mention that in the video, but they did lose Nico Mannion. He was going to be their backup point guard. He went off to Italy. And then they lose Kelly Oubre to the Charlotte Hornets, not the Charlotte Lightskins. Oubre was, somewhat disappointing for him last year. I thought that was a fantastic move, getting him for a first-round pick. Ended up not being the greatest. Now, Steve Kerr. Is Steve Kerr on the way out? I don't know. Maybe I sound like a casual saying this, but I felt like last year's squad, you got Steph, who's still a top 5 player in the NBA. He put all doubts to that aside. You got Wiggins. You got Draymond. You got guys like that. You also got Wiseman while he was hurt. Oubre was hurt too, but, he still had Oubre. I feel like last year's squad was good enough to make the playoffs, and they didn't. Felt like they could have beat the Grizzlies, but, maybe not. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just tripping out about that. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Looking at the lineup, they got the Splash Brothers in the backcourt, of course. That's kind of set in stone, although they might rest Clay at the beginning of the year, working back in easily. They got Wiggins at the 3, Draymond at the 4, and then I threw Wiseman in at the 5. Wasn't too sure, so, just threw him in there. Maybe somebody else starts at the 5, maybe it's Kevon Looney, but I threw Wiseman in there for now. Looking at the bench, Jordan Poole. As I mentioned, very, very good microwave scorer off the bench. Not sure who the 6th man is going to be yet. We'll probably find that out closer to the season starting. They also got Moses Moody coming off the bench. I think he's going to thrive in that role. Andre Iguodala coming in, giving him spot minutes here and there as the vet in that locker room. That's where most of his value is going to come from. Otto Porter Jr., we already talked about him. Kuminga, beast. And then Bjelica, I'm not going to try to say his first name. The guy they acquired in the offseason. I think another minimum deal to strengthen the bench, strengthen the rotation. I think that was a really, really good move. And then, of course, they also got Kevon Looney there at the backup 5. Maybe he starts, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But I feel like this year could be the make-or-break year for Steve Kerr. If they don't make the playoffs this year, that's a huge disappointment. That's a huge L. Because a lot of people are thinking that they should be competing for a championship right now. If Kerr can't get them there, maybe it's time for a new coach. I don't know. Maybe it sounds like I'm hating a little bit too much on Steve Kerr. I'm not trying to hate on Steve Kerr. I like Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's cool. But yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. With that being said, that is going to be it for today's video. Please make sure to like button and subscribe button if you did enjoy today's video at any point. Also, make sure to leave me a comment. All 3 things really help us out in the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you're subscribed so you can be entered into that giveaway if we hit 2K by Thanksgiving. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.